Hey everybody, look at what this is. It is Steam Winter Sale 2023. And as I always love to do, I'm going to be giving you a rundown of Steam budget games that you can pick up on the cheap, things that will improve your library that you will love to play in the coming year. And it is my hope to help you spend that dollar wisely. And so I'm going to present you with my picks for Steam games under $10 in this video, and then there will be a video for Steam games under $5, then one for games under $2, and yes, one for games under $1. And you would be surprised how very far you can stretch your gaming dollar. I've been doing it for years, and so that's why I love putting these things together, helping other budget-friendly gamers find the things that they want to find. So, we are going to start off with, by the way, please forgive, there may be odd, weird jumps in the middle and whatnot. I am sick as a dog right now, and it's been a very rough and stressful day. I am a teacher. We are in the middle of final exams, and so, yeah, it's a good time. We start off with Age of Wonders 3. Age of Wonders 3 is a strategy game. It's a sort of somewhere between real-time strategy and a more turn-based strategy, RPG-ish kind of a thing. Not a straight-up RPG, but also not a straight-up RTS either. Kind of a combination of both that leans a little more heavily on the RTS side of things. Very fun to play, very much beloved. You got your hex-based movements, because of course you do, and build up your armies, build up your civilizations, go forth and conquer. This game, very much beloved, and it is currently $7.49. This next one, warning, not for the children. It's not one of the many naughty sort of games on Steam, but it's also not for children. As you can see, this is Akiba's Trip, but this is made to look like, oh, is it Akiba's Trip or Akiba Strip? This game actually reminds me a bit of the Persona games, except the major difference here is that people are being taken over by demons, and in order to demonify them, you have to beat them up and then take their clothes. Down to the underwear. It's not actual nudity. There might be a nude patch. I have no idea. I've never looked it up. You can do that for yourself. But it is a whole lot of fun, even though it's kind of a silly idea. I have really enjoyed this game, which is why I own it on more than one console. And so Akiba's Trip or Akiba Strip, it is $9.99 at 50% off. Now, this next one is kind of a plug for a whole bunch of games, but we're just going to start with the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition because, you know, all of your other, like, Icewind Dale's Enhanced Editions and your Planescape Torments and your Baldur's Gate 2s, all of these classic era RPGs from the Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons. These are all D&D entities owned by Wizards of the Coast. They are based in D&D rule sets. They are classic RPGs, and they are very fun to play even now today. And as you can see, they are very isometric and turn-basedy and whatnot, but still quite fun, a lot of strategy involved, and I had myself a really good time playing these games. They are all within this price range, and there's also a bundle with those if you want to get all of them at once. But if you're not sure and you just want to start out with the first one, Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, there are expansions and DLCs and all kinds of other things. But for $6.59, you get the base game, and that is a great place to start. Hopefully the number of times I had to pause in the last little bit for coughing and whatnot has not made this video unwatchable. Up next, we have Barony. Barony, let's get it out of the way. It looks kind of Minecrafty. It does use those bloxel graphics. That is where the similarities end. This is a roguelike that is sometimes so unforgiving. It's just, oh boy. But it's so fun and funny and interesting, and you do get better at it over time. Not that it's roguelite. It's really not. Every single play you really have to build yourself up from the very beginning, but you get better at doing so over time, and that's where the improvement comes in. You learn how to better use the skills, qualities, and attributes that your player has. Believe me when I tell you that just doing the tutorials in this game and beating those tutorials is an achievement unto itself. So yeah, not super hand-holdy. It's quite hard, but if you want a really fun roguelike that is also a 3D bloxel-based experience, Barony for $9.99. I got it last year. It has been a welcome addition to my collection. Next up, Battle Chasers Nightwar. Now, I have my own little personal vendetta with this game. Or not vendetta against this game, but my own personal vendetta against the fact that, like, this game is not as beloved as it should be. This is a really, really good and extremely fun and really well-made turn-based RPG. As you're moving through the world, it's not, turn-based as you're moving and exploring the world around you, but as soon as you go into a battle, it is turn-based. And yes, there are a lot of games like that. This one has a beautiful art style, and the different characters have different skills and attributes, and you play as the different characters at different times in the game as the story advances. It's really quite well done, and I enjoy it a whole lot. And so, yeah, I want more people to love this game. It is $7.49. Up next is Battle Chef Brigade. Battle Chef Brigade is many things all at the same time. First of all, it is beautiful. It has this classic anime art style, which is just wonderful. And it incorporates multiple different elements. It's a world full of monsters, and you have to go out and kill monsters to get ingredients so that you can then take part in these Iron Chef-like chef battles. And it's always a balance where you have to figure out, okay, I've got this much time to go out and get my ingredients. And, if I go after the bigger ingredients, I might come back empty-handed, or I might come back with just the right thing. And then once the Iron Chef portion begins, it's a match 3. So this game does multiple things. You get exploration, you get RPGing, hack and slashy type of action RPG stuff. And then you get a match 3 and a whole storyline behind it. And it plays like a really good anime. The main character is this willful young lady who doesn't want to live the life her parents have set out for her. Very classic anime tropes. It is such a great game. And it is $6.99. What a deal. So this next one, I didn't know if I wanted to put on the list because of not the blood and gore and intense violence. We love those things in America. It's the partial nudity and whatnot that I was concerned about, because we are talking about, of course, Bayonetta. But yeah, it was in talking about this game, like, I had my problems with it when I played with it. I thought that she is too overly sexualized in ways that I didn't enjoy. I love the biblically accurate angels. I love the beat 'em up with timing-based combat system, it plays so very well. It is so very fun to play, and yet, like, the main character is hyper-sexualized. And so you have to feel however you're going to feel about that. And so, yeah, if you don't want to play such a thing because of the hyper-sexualized part of it, sure, that makes total sense. That's totally reasonable. But if you do want to play a game that has timing-based combat, and is, like, truly one of the best-made beat-em-ups that I have ever played, despite being wildly over-sexualized, it is Bayonetta. It is only $5.99 right now, and that's a pretty good deal. Now, when it comes to the Borderlands games, I have only played all the way through one of them. So, I have heard lots of things about lots of the Borderlands games, but look, Borderlands 3 is $8.99, Borderlands 2 is $4.99, the pre-sequel is $9.99. All of these, you can look into them and see how they are rated. I believe a lot of people didn't like 2 as much like 3, or maybe it's the other way around. I haven't played them yet. I have so many games in my backlog, I'm working on it. But this last year I finished Borderlands Game of the Year Enhanced Edition, and I loved it from top to bottom. It is amazing. It is the ultimate looter shooter. You level up your different character types as you make your way through the world, and there are so many different types of guns and ammo and pickups of a wild variety, and yeah, so many interesting characters, so much hilarious humor, and this really beautiful comic book style art that I love it. I love this game so much. And so, yeah, if you have not played Borderlands at all, well, first of all, yeah, what are you, like me, where you haven't played it enough? Yeah, it's time. This year is time. It is, you know, not very expensive for you to get the Game of the Year Enhanced, which comes with so many DLCs and extra bits. That I played through those as well when I did my full playthrough. Super fun. Couldn't imagine the game without this added bonus content, and so this is the version to get. It is $9.89, and a really good pickup, and quite fun, and highly recommended. Now, this next one makes the list in spite of the fact that it's not really a type of game that I love that much, but I do know a lot of people who love these SimCity city builder type games, and City Skylines is the gold standard. A lot of people were so upset with what they did with City Skylines 2. I was not upset because I didn't buy it, and because I don't even really play the first one that much, even though I do own it. But I do know so many people who love these type of games, and this game is it. Like, if you, like a lot of people, played all of the SimCity games back in the day and then grew increasingly frustrated with some of the things they were doing with SimCity, City Skylines fixes so many of those things and just made so many people so happy, because it was finally the city builder that they had always wanted all along. And so, yeah, if that sounds like your cup of tea, it is $8.99. Up next, Dungreed. Now, I will begin with the caveat that yes, there are an awful lot of games like this on Steam. This is a roguelite, and it's a good one. It's a really good one. You go down into this treacherous dungeon, and you're fighting off all kinds of villainous, terrible monsters, and you're collecting all that loot. And the more you collect all that loot, then the better and stronger you get. You get to add to the stats and attributes that your player has over time. And I was replaying this recently. This is one of the games that I had forgotten about. Now, I need to show you a thing. Let me find it real quick. I'm going to pause. It will take me a moment, but you will not notice the difference. Okay, this mamma jamma right here that you're looking at is a spreadsheet. And I know, you came here for games. Why am I showing you a spreadsheet? Well, I have been reviewing games for a few years on Steam now, or on YouTube. Steam games on YouTube. I know how words work. I'm sick. I told you that, right? And I'm a teacher, and it's finals week, and I am, stretched very thin. So, yeah, please forgive any missteps I make in this video. I am literally trying my best. But this is a compilation of all the reviews that I have done. Those are the Steam ones. This budget extravaganza, those are extremely budget-friendly games that I have reviewed over the years, most of which were purchased for not just less than $1, but less than 50 cents in most cases. So yeah, I've got all the things, and you can sort through this and find things out. And it was only as I was going through this list that I found games like Dungreed that I had reviewed a while back and had just forgotten about for some reason. I don't know why I forgot about it. I really enjoyed this game. And when I was playing it again recently, I was like, man, how did I ever forget this? This is such a fun game. Now, yes, there's a ton of roguelike and roguelite dungeon crawlers, but this one's just a little off the beaten path. Everybody knows them on the standard ones that get put on everybody's list. I'm trying to go a little off the beaten path, and so I'm giving you Dungreed, which you can pick up for $6.99. Now, if you're like me, you've been a fan of RPGs dating back all the way to the NES and onward. So you've played the Zeldas, you've played the Final Fantasies, you have played the Dragon Warriors and the other excellent RPGs. The thing about Evoland is that it is all of those RPG styles. As you progress through the game itself changes art styles multiple times over, and they work that into the story. But the fun part about it is that you get to play so many different types of RPGs all within the same story, and it all works seamlessly together. There is an Evoland 2, but it is not on sale at all. One of the things I noticed about this year's Steam sale is that some of the things you would expect to be on sale are not, and some of the things, there are games that I kept off the list simply because they are not on sale very much, like Cities Skylines that I showed you recently. I've seen that game for under $7, I'm pretty sure, or at least $7 exactly, and so the fact that it's more in the $8 range seems like the Steam sale is maybe not as punchy as it once was, maybe not as crazy with the price drops as it once was, but still, this one, I don't know if it's been that cheap before. This seems like a really good price. Again, you can look into it and make sure. I have not gone through and done all of the price histories on these because I don't have that kind of time, and I apologize for that fact. But I'm telling you, this game is beautiful and fun. It is $5.99, and it is a steal at that price. Now, this next one, Freedom Planet. This is one of my favorite things, when someone is just very passionate and they put a passion project together. You might know the story of this one. This one was originally developed as a fan Sonic the Hedgehog game. I can pronounce words. But Sega, the fine people at Sega, said, no, you're not allowed to make a Sonic the Hedgehog game. You're not us. And so the guy said, okay, fine. I will create my own thing. I will put in my own story. I will make my own proprietary character, and I will make, essentially, the best Sonic game in a long time. It's really, really good. It is almost shockingly good, and there's a lot of really interesting gameplay mechanics that are nowhere to be found in the world of Sonic the Hedgehog, because it's its own thing. And so, yeah, Freedom Planet is a total labor of love, made by a single developer, and it is $7.49. Yeah, it took a while for this one to start coming down in price. I may have only picked it up last year, if I remember correctly, and it was more than this, if I remember. So, if you love you some Sonic the Hedgehog, Freedom Planet, it's really, really good. Grim Dawn. Grim Dawn is one of 3 different Buckle Hat Man series that you're going to see on here. Because, hold up, look, Buckle Hat Man. The other 2, and I swear to God, do yourself a favor. Look up The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, Buckle Hat Man. Look up Victor Varan, Buckle Hat Man. All 3 Buckle Hat Man Diablo clones, all 3 very good, very fun to play. This one is super excellent. A lot of really, really interesting enemies that you get to go up against, and a really good leveling system that really lets you specialize and hone in on your specific gameplay style. And so, yeah, all of this for only $7.49. Up next, because it had to be, it's Hollow Knight. Because everybody loves Hollow Knight. It is such a beautiful game. It is truly one of the best Metroidvanias ever made. Absolutely, hands down. It is so atmospheric. It is so incredibly beautifully made. So much fun to play. And such a great storyline. So much lore involved in it. It is a game that I know people who have beaten it multiple times, just because they love it so much. And so many people are waiting on Silk Song, the sequel that will be out sometime in the future. Anyway, you can get this one now, and you can get it for the low price of $7.49. And finally, the last game in the $10 price point. This is one of my favorite types of games, and that is the isometric shooter. Not enough good isometric shooters in the world. Just Diablo with guns. We want it. We should have it. It's a good thing. Anyway, the Ascent is a cyberpunk world, very Blade Runner-y kind of a feel. And, with awesome guns and isometric shooting. Super cool game. Very, very interesting. Quite deep and well worth playing. Granted, I have heard some complaints about this. Like, I played it, I thought it was deep. Some people have been like, it's not long enough. I don't know. I have different expectations when it comes to an isometric shooter. But yeah, I enjoyed what I played of this one. And I put a little bit of time into it, so I think I know what I'm talking about. We'll see. It's $8.99. See, I just became full of self-doubt right there at the end. I was doing so well. And then I was like, do I know what I'm talking about? Perhaps not. Perhaps not. But no, mostly positive. Most people like this game. I like this game. You will probably like this game if you like games like this. Anyway, people, just know I'm going to be putting together those other videos as we go along. I will post them as soon as I create them. Know that it's kind of a slog for me because I am sick and I am tired from, it being finals week and me not getting enough sleep because of all the grading I'm doing and whatnot. But thank you for being here for this one, people. I will see you in the next one. The under $5 category. That's going to do it for this one. Okay, bye.